Welcome back, everyone, to this next match here in Alliance Tournament 10. I'm Ravy, joined by Zastro, and right
Hi.
now we have Evoke versus Wormhole holders. Some interesting setups going on, especially from Wormhole holders who have only brought 3 ships. They've got 2 Maelstroms, shield tanked with autocannons, and 1 armor tanked Loki.
So you may notice the slightly bad grammar in Wormhole's holder's name. That's because they are a Russian alliance. They are Russian and Wormhole, just two like slightly niche playstyle methods. Clearly, they're not scared to experiment with this completely unusual setup that they have brought here,
Yeah,
and they're
Evoke
off.
has brought a much more traditional setup with 3 Cyclones, 2 Jaguars, and a Scimitar. It's quite a strong setup, I think. Jaguars are excellent ships. Already, the Cyclones from Evoke are right on top of that Loki from Wormhole holders.
Yep, and that Maelstrom is burning at the Scimitar for Evoke. I guess he's going to go after the logistics if he
I
can
think
catch up.
killing that logistics is the only real hope that Wormhole holders have. They need this to be a very long match, taking advantage of the strong tank that you can get on those Maelstroms with the ancillary shield boosters. They can't let this fight stretch out a long way, so they need to get the reps off the field.
Yeah, and right now they're not doing any damage to anybody. So it's going to be, well, I guess they haven't really caught up with that scimitar yet, but
Yeah,
it's
we'll
not
see
going
how.
to, it's not going to be good if they can't get any shots off on anybody.
We're seeing these Cyclones taking good advantage of all their utility highs, using smart bombs and nukes on the Loki. He's going to be almost drained of cap now, and that's going to hurt his tank quite a bit. Damage is being applied to one of the Cyclones now for Evoke, but he's tanking just fine at the moment.
And speaking of utility, that's one thing I don't like about having a small lineup with big ships, like just this 3-ship lineup. You have so many fewer slots across your entire team setup that you don't have as much room for utility mids, like tackling gear and E-War, etc. Uh, I I wouldn't have brought a 3-ship setup, and I don't think it's going to go too well for them here.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be a big fan of them either. It is interesting to note that the Cyclones from Evoke are doing something that we've seen a lot of teams do so far, which is using ancillary shield boosters along with the logistics. Gives you a really strong tank in the early match, and then even if you lose your logistics, you still have those reps on the ships. It allows a lot of matches between teams that have logistics turn into a logistics trade at the beginning, and then they move into killing each other. And that kind of extra tank on those ships gives them a strong advantage in that second phase of the match. It's a good strategy.
And Evoke's Cyclones are all humping that Wormhole's holder's Loki, and they're all neuting him too. It's just a matter of time before he goes down.
Those newts, I think, are going to be very key in this fight, because those Maelstroms are not going to go down easily. And with the newt, as we see now the Loki destroyed for Wormhole holders, now the damage is going to switch to one of the Maelstroms. As you see...
The Maelstroms have both caught up with the Scimitar, and they're sitting on top of him, shooting him. But so far, not doing too good. I don't think they're able to connect very strongly, especially that one Maelstrom's essentially humping the Scimitar.
The problem is, with that Loki gone, these Maelstroms don't have any tackle. We're not seeing any webs on the Simi, which means that the Simi can get in very close to them and make it very hard for their guns to track. They're going to have to split up, and in that case, only one of them is going to be able to deal good damage. And, like just about every ship we've seen in this match, that Scimitar also has an ancillary shield booster fit. It's tanking itself, so it can actually rep the damage.
The Scimitar knows this. He's essentially humping Wellian Maelstrom and staying so close that Maelstrom's big battleship guns aren't able to track the Scimitar, especially when he's not tanked or anything. He's just floating around full speed.
Yeah. We are seeing from the Wormhole holders Maelstroms, they do have ECCM on their ships, which is excellent because there's ECM drones hitting them, and that's what's allowing them to still be able to continue firing. Also, they have smart bombs, which is a bit odd on the Maelstrom. But in this case, it worked well because it killed the drones. It's not every day you see smart bomb Maelstroms because they do have 8 guns for their 8 hives.
Yeah, but those ECM drones that are on the Maelstroms could... That's another battleship problem, is they're susceptible to E-War. So by clearing off all those ECM drones, they can actually continue to shoot.
It's an interesting choice, not something we see a lot, but I think it is a choice that's very worth making. Having a smart bomb on at least one of them, you don't necessarily have to have it on both, is the kind of thing that gives you a lot of a big advantage facing drone teams. Enough so that it's worth losing the turret. We're seeing the first Maelstrom about to die now for Wormhole holders, and Evoke is going to be taking this match very convincingly, probably with no losses.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing that one remaining Maelstrom is going to be able to do to any of the Evoke ships.
This is a strong team from Evoke, using all 6 of their ships to good effect, taking advantage of the strong buffed assault frig since last year, taking advantage of the ancillary shield boosters on a ship that's boosted for it, that has extra bonuses for boosters in the Cyclone. It's a setup that they can use possibly later, or they may want to switch it up, but it's strong for sure.
Yep, so that last Maelstrom is just being slowly chewed down. He's unable to really get any damage to stick on any of the Evoke ships, so
it's interesting seeing how quickly he's going down, because the ancillary shield booster gives him a very strong tank. There's a lot of DPS coming into him. What I think has happened is I'm not seeing any hardener effects on him anymore, just the booster. So he can run that booster without any cap, as long as it has the cap boosters in it. But those newts on the Cyclones have turned off his hardeners, and that's key. The ability to turn off the hardeners on ships is one of the reasons that Cyclones are so great in the tournament. They do a fair amount of DPS.
Not only do Cyclones do a lot of DPS in their own right, but they have a lot of utility available for things such as newts and some mid slots.
Yeah. What you can fit on a Cyclone is guns, a gang mod, a newt, and a smart bomb, and that's something that very few ships can do.
Kaboom! There he goes. And that does it for Wormhole's holders. A very convincing win by Evoke. They slam dunked this one, and we'll see how well they do in the rest of the tournament.